Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We'll also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 213 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I have also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame. Now, this is my second year ever running. Within the first full year of running at the age of 31, I was able to run 1,002 miles, and I did that within 175 days out of the year in 2020. So me going for 1,500 miles this year is over a 50% increase in the amount of miles as opposed to last year, and me going for 365 days running is over a 100% increase in the amount of days I'll be running as opposed to last year. And this year, all of those days are in a row with no days off. I've also challenged myself to run 2 major races within this time frame. One of those being a 50K trail race, which I was actually able to get finished on June 5th, 2021. I got that done in 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. That was the Yankee Springs Trail Race out in Middleville, Michigan. Really excited and stoked about that because I'm officially an ultra runner and have started my ultra runner career with that. Also, the big feat within that was not only to be able to run that 31-mile race, but to have the run streak up to the race, run the race, and then keep the run streak alive since the race was even a bigger feat for me. Like I said, though, this year I'm doing 2 big races, the other race being the Detroit Free Press Marathon, which I'll be doing the Motor City Challenge within that race. And that entails me running the competitive 1 mile and the competitive 5K the day before running the actual marathon. That race will be in October. Really looking forward to it. Was a little disappointed this year. They had made the arrangements to open the border to Canada here in August, but I guess it still wasn't enough time to get all of the race and everything in preparation to make the race an international marathon, which is what it normally is. We start here in Detroit and you'd run across the bridge into Canada and run back into Detroit under the tunnel. So that would have been a really cool race to have ran if the borders were, or under the circumstances would have allowed us to. But this year the marathon will be stuck just in Detroit. Still excited to run it though. Officially will be my first year ever running it, and be able to actually have an official marathon time will be nice as well. So like I said, that is in October, and we're kind of just in the middle of training for that. We'll probably start tapering miles. Probably late September, early October. We'll probably slight taper and then a heavy taper in the mid-October, getting ready the week before, getting ready for that race. We'll probably do a heavy taper of miles. Other than that, though, talking about miles, let's get into today's daily miles. So, like I said, today was day 213. Today was August 1st. It was the new month, but for the day today, it was the end of a week, so we're going to have a lot of weekly miles, but very low monthly miles, so that's why you'll get that. But let's get into miles, actually. So for the day today, 213, I got out there and put in 4.7 miles for the day, which puts me at 45.5 miles for the week. Speaking of that, guys, so now for 4 weeks straight, I have hit 45 miles. So that right there alone has been a huge feat. That's why I was able to actually get to the 200 miles for the last month in July, because I was hitting so many miles per week. So I'm going to probably taper it down slightly, just because that was a lot of miles and a lot of hours for the month of July. But it honestly, it felt really good. However, I still want to continue to go. Hopefully my wife didn't hear that because she wants me to slow down. But anyways, let's get into monthly miles. So for the month, guys, I have I told you we had 4.7 for the day, we had 45.5 for the week, and for the month, 4.7 because it is the first of the month. But for the year, guys, we are sitting at 1,007.5 miles for the month, or for the year, sorry. 1,007.5. So that is where we are at currently for the year. All right, so now that we've talked about that, let's quickly focus in on monthly miles. So every single month, I challenge myself to do a 100-mile challenge, and I do that in honor of a charity in which I donate money to. Now, for the first 7 months, we were able to raise money for 7 great charities. Now we're sitting here within the 8th month, August, and honestly, I do not have a charity lined up for this month's 100-mile challenge, but I will have it right after this episode is over. I'm going to get on it, so while you're listening to this episode, once it is uploaded, there will be a charity up, but it will be a mystery charity until it is up. So we will be raising money for another great charity here in the month of August, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll be able to find the link to donate to that charity on the Defining Discipline Facebook and Instagram stories, as well as my personal pages, Facebook and Instagram stories. Like I said, though, before, we raised money for the first 7 months for 7 great charities, the same way we're doing this month's charity through Facebook donations. All donations that get made go directly to these charities. Facebook is not taking any portion of your donations. So that is a really cool thing that we are doing every single month to try to raise money and awareness for charities throughout every single month. So like I said, we don't have the actual information on August's charity, but by tomorrow we will have all that information, and by the end of the night we will have another fundraiser started and running. So we've talked about that. Now we'll quickly talk about the word of the day. So we've been doing a word of the day since towards the middle or something like that, I think of June, and I've been trying to do a little bit of reading as well every single day, but I kind of fell off these past week or so because of just the amount of hours and stuff I've been putting at work, and to be able to still come home and put in the run and get the episode in and spend time with the wife and the daughter. Haven't had much time to add that reading in, but I still do plan on eventually getting back to it. But we have been sticking with the word of the day to help try to expand the vocabulary. So for today's word of the day, this is going to be interesting. We'll see if I can even try to get this right. It is pulchritude. Pulchritude. I think I got it right. It's spelled really crazy though. Pulchritud. Pulchritude, and it's physical comeliness. That is the word of the day, pulchritude. So, now, with that being said, let's get into today's actual episode 213. Episode 213 is going to be what actual episode 212 should have been, but since 212 was a very special day for me yesterday, crossing over all those miles, and being able to hit the 1,002 miles yesterday, I wanted to do a compare episode with the 1,002 miles I did last year, so I wanted to keep them on the same thing. But normally the very last day of the month I do a month in review, so we're going to actually pin that to today, the first day of August. It is the last day of the week, so it's not too far off. We got it. I think this will go pretty well. It'll be fine. So for today's episode 213, guys, it is going to be month in review July, and it's going to kind of touch a little bit on yesterday's episode, because it was almost the same thing. Yesterday's episode, we were just comparing, the amount of yearly miles and just the monthly miles and all of that I put in, and just comparing myself this year compared to last year, and so that was more of a comparative thing of how far I've came since last year. So this episode, we're gonna kind of just focus on um, July in general. So July was a great month for me, guys. Um, putting in the miles wise, best month I've ever done. So 200 and 201.7 miles is what I'm 90% positive I ended at. So let's pop it up here. Yeah, 201.7 miles. I ran 31 hours. I think it was 30 hours 56 minutes. So 31 hours I was out there running throughout the month. Ran every single day. My longest activity was the half marathon I did on day 199. I had 11 best efforts throughout the month of July. I became 2 local legends throughout the month. I hit 4 different goals. I got 16 challenges completed. Just overall, it was just a great month. Unbelievable month just to be able to pump out that many miles. Just insane. And we're going to quickly pop up the Strava here on the computer because I can break it down a little bit more in details throughout the month, just because I came into the month not really knowing how I was gonna do it and where I was gonna go with it. So the month actually started on a Thursday, so I got 4 days is what I considered almost as like a freebie, a free 4 days before the actual month kind of started. We'll kind of count it as 3 days though, because we lost this Sunday. So I kind of had a 3 extra day. I got 4 weeks and then 3 extra days to kind of see, what I'm working with. And, those first 3 days of the month of July, first day popped out 4.8. So it wasn't too crazy. Second day though, popped out 6.3. Still not too crazy. Third day, we pop out 6.1. Still not too crazy. But then 4th of July, pop out 8.4. So just within that, I think I was right around 30 miles within just the first 4 days of the month of July. And sitting that much, that far ahead, it just felt good. I was like, all right, well, we're this far ahead. I think just seeing that, being like, all right, this far ahead. So, this far ahead within the month, 4 days in, I remember thinking, because it was the 4th of July, thinking, maybe this is the month I'll be able to hit the 300K. That was the original goal, was to try to hit the 300K, because that seemed hitting the 200K every month here and there this year, and even last year I hit 200K a couple months, so that was always kind of attainable. It was hard, but the 300 was like, oh man, that seems almost impossible. And getting ahead of it, the first 30 miles just in that first 4 days, I'm sitting there thinking like, I think I really kind of have a chance here. So I really wanted to, see what I'd be able to do. So the original goal was to go for the 300, and the second week comes around, the actual first full week, first 4 days, and then we had the first full week, and I was just gonna see, how many miles I could pump out, and somehow I got off and just went a little too crazy. I think I was just on a good average pace. I was trying to just pump out some 10Ks and just 4 miles. I kind of got a new route of just running to the river and back. It got a little dull doing the 3.5 mile run around Southgate. I kind of got bored with that. So running to the river and back is kind of just relaxing at the same time. It's a little bit longer, but it makes me feel better. So I was doing that to begin with, and as doing that, I ended that first full week on the 11th of July. And during the 11th of July, I had challenged myself to do a challenge that I had made up in honor of 7-Eleven, because 7-Eleven normally had given away free Slurpees every 7-Eleven. So I made a challenge because I found out there was, just within this area, there was, 7 different 7-Elevens all around me that are, fairly close. Um, Within, I think I only went into 3 different cities and I hit 7 different 7-Elevens. So that tells you right there. But I mapped it out and I found out that I could actually hit 7 different 7-Elevens within an 11-mile run. So I decided I was going to run to 7 different 7-Elevens. At every single 7-Eleven, stop and get a Slurpee to fuel me to the next 7-Eleven. So I did that. That was my challenge. I ran 11 miles to end that week. And what happened is I was actually at, 34 miles that week. And I was already ahead of a plan, and I needed to put that 11 miles in because I told myself I was going to do it. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to run 45 miles this week. That's the most I've ever ran to begin with in a week. So let's go for it. So I did it, and then I was sitting at right around 75 miles for the month, and I'm like, holy crap, this is, I'm not even halfway through the month. I'm 11 days in, and I'm almost 75 miles in, and I think when I got to like day 14 or day 15, I was like right at 96 or 98, and I'm like, I not only can get this 300K for the month of July, but I'm going to be able to really crank this out and I could probably hit 200 miles. And that something that I never even thought of. Like I never even 200 miles never crossed my mind. So to be able to do that, to be able to hit the last 4 weeks of this month, the 5th through the 11th, and then the 12th through the the 19th, 18th. I can't even do the math. Every single week, being able to hit the 45 miles for the month for the last 4 weeks of the month, just unbelievable. I didn't think my body was going to be able to hold up, and honestly, it has taken a toll. This last week, probably for the whole week, honestly, truly, I've been struggling with some a little bit of sore spots in my legs, couple shin splints, a little bit of soreness around the ankles. Definitely got a right bruised heel, which that is the thing I think that's worrying me the most, because I know I'm going to be on my feet a lot at work, and then I'm still trying to continue the streak. So the healing process of trying to get that bruised heel back, just trying to guess whenever I'm not working or running, is to just try to really rest it and get as much protein and healing properties to it, anti-inflammatory things like some turmeric, and just things to try to get it, just trying to get it, ice it and try to elevate it and try to get it to heal as fast as possible, and try not to re-bruise it while I'm running and working on it. That is going to be the big thing. But this month has just been a great month. Ended it very, very strong. Ended it the last day. Not too crazy, not a crazy run, not a fast run, but ended it with the 5-mile run in order to break the 200 miles for the month and to break the 1,000 miles for the year. And it felt good. It felt great. And with even that same day, yesterday, being able to break that, I actually started my new job, a new career, and it was just an overall a great day. My wife, my daughter, and my dog all came with me yesterday as well on the run to break the 200 and 1,000 miles. So it was just overall, the month of July will be a month I'll never forget throughout my whole entire life. It was a great, great month to be able to push out those miles. And I know, just thinking back last year of all the accomplishments, to say I'll never forget this month, maybe next month or, maybe 4 years down the line, I'll be running 300 miles a month. Who knows? I get that. And maybe I'll be able to do 200 miles again. But the thing I'm really stuck with is just this whole year has just been so monumental and so it's such a big shift within my life in a good way that I'm gonna forever treasure this year and the hard work I've put in and just the things that have happened through out this year from my daughter being born, running the 50K, um, hitting these personal PRs, running my super fast, running some of the fastest runs I've ever done, being able to overcome a lot of this heat, starting a new career, uh, running 200 miles within a month, breaking the 300K for the month, which again, I keep doing that backwards. I should be saying the 300K then the 200 miles because it's 300K is only 186 miles, but that's still just these things are just amazing things that to look back on, I am so proud of and so excited about. Just to think back a few years ago that I had none of these um, even planned or had any ideas to do any of this stuff. And if I would have told myself this is what I'd be doing, I would have told you 2 years ago that you're crazy and to get off whatever drugs you're on or whatever the case may be. Um, so it's really eye opening to see how far I've came just with a little bit of self confidence and not even that, just some self discipline and to really push myself and to focus on myself as individually work on myself instead of uh, looking for other things to solve, trying to solve my own problems has really helped out tremendously. So this past month, like I said, has been a great month. Month of July will be one for the record books. 200 miles, 186 miles as well, 300K. Broke the 1,000 mile mark for this month. Got a new job. Had the family there for breaking the record. Was able to do the 7-Eleven challenge. It was just a fun overall month, guys. Great month to be running in, and I'm glad I got to run every single day so far this year and this month. Like I said, the summer was always something that not that I run all the time, but even just back in the day, I used to really hate the heat and doing things in the heat. It really got to me. So being able to really push through this past month, especially those hot, humid days, was really, really awesome. Um, Really powerful too, because like I said, it's something that used to really, really get to me, and to be able to see, um, the things I've been able to overcome, it's been great. One more thing before we close it out, I do want to say, I think I mentioned it yesterday in just one of the little stories. Something I did discover though, throughout this month, with the humidity and it being super hot, and it kind of surprised me is so very, very hot, humid days. I get out there, I'd be sweating. I'd come home, my shirt would be soaking wet. It'd be hot as heck. Could barely breathe out there, super sticky. I come home and nothing, no problems, no chafing, no nothing. Um, but I noticed these last few days, these days when it gets down to the 70s and it's still nice out a little bit where I'm gonna sweat, but it's chilly, a little chilly, a little brisky where my body's staying at a good temperature and I can run. Um, I've noticed more though these days that are chillier that I'm actually chafing, and I have a slight theory because this is a specific area of chafing, and it happened to me last when I first started running, and even this past year, kind of a little bit sometimes within the winter. And I was kind of surprised to see it reversing effect in the summer. And my theory is I think in the winter and in these days, these cooler days within the summer, what I'm thinking is happening is I'm sweating, I'm getting hot, my body's heating up, and I'm sweating and getting wet. And then when I get wet and the cold air is hitting me, it's actually cooling me off and kind of giving me chills, and it's actually making my nipples hard. So I think when my nipples actually get hard and I'm wet and I'm running, that's when the chafing actually starts to occur. is when the shirt is rubbing against the hard nipple, as opposed to in the summer when it's just scorching hot and I'm wet and humid. Yes, there's a lot of sweat there, but the nipple's nice and soft and moist, and it's not really intrusive into the shirt, I guess you could say. That is my theory. So anyone that wants to try to debunk that, or maybe add some more compelling evidence to that theory, be more than welcome. That is something I think I have discovered here within the month of July. Other than that, though, guys, we'll close this episode out. For your daily discipline today, though, it is the same thing like most month in reviews. It is just for yourself to look back on this past month and the things that you have accomplished, the things that have maybe changed, things that you have wanted to change and maybe have not started to change, that you need to really get onto. Now is a new month. It's a new time to start over. So let's really get on those things if you haven't already. So your daily discipline today is to look back on the past month and your past accomplishments over the month and your failures over the past month, and to analyze them and to take what you need to take what you need with you ahead with you on this within this next month. Sorry guys, I'm getting all jumbly here again. It is getting late. It is almost 11 p.m. Trying to get this episode in and uploaded. So other than that, thank you so much for listening and following along. This is the Defining Discipline Podcast. I am your host, Scott. Episode 213. If you guys can, please give this podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on our Instagram, our Facebook, our TikTok, our YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platform you guys have been following along and listening on. Other than that, that's pretty much it. The month in review is over. We're going to get the ball rolling for August. I will get the new fundraiser up, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 214. Other than that, peace.